The 2012 race is on. We're going to talk about the GOP's plan to win big. Also, Connecticut business leaders are frustrated with the state's business climate. They have some suggestions as lawmakers head to a special session on jobs. And we're going to talk with 5th District congressional contender Mark Greenberg. Welcome to The Real Story. I'm Lori Perez. Your email box is probably already getting filled with campaign letters, requests for support, and money. There is no doubt the 2012 races are heating up. Republicans across the country, of course, are looking for big gains. The head of Connecticut's Republican Party is Jerry Labrioli. He is here now to talk about the fight before him. Jerry, thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me, Lori. Good morning.
So you're going to have a very busy next few months, I would imagine. Your main focus is going to be the big Senate race, I guess?
Well, that is an open seat. We're very excited about our prospects.
Let's talk about that, because there's lots of candidates lining up, obviously, Shays and Linda McMahon, and lots of media attention on the race already. And how do you see it playing out?
Well, I mean, I'm very pleased that quality candidates are emerging to run for that open U.S. Senate seat. I'm also pleased with the fact that we have candidates who, in the case of Chris Shays, hasn't even announced, hasn't spent $1, has been out of state with a congressional assignment or a government assignment for 3 years, yet he's only 4 points down from the presumed frontrunner for the Democrats, who has been running for months and spending a lot of money already.
Why do you think that is? I mean, won't it be difficult to fill a seat that was been held so long by a Democrat and then an independent candidate?
Lori, I feel Connecticut right now is out of balance, and I think inherently the voters of Connecticut want to restore a proper balance of power to Connecticut. And if you look at our economy, if you look at the governor in the recent poll, I mean, he's in the tank right now. Folks are ready, and we're going to be ready to compete for that seat.
And so what's your role now? What do you do for the next few months? I mean, as you have all these contenders coming out.
Well, I have pledged to be an honest broker. And I certainly want to mention Linda McMahon, who has a distinguished career as a businesswoman. She's only 7 points down from Chris Murphy. And we have 2 other good candidates, Brian Hill and Mayor Jason McCoy. So I expect that we will have a healthy nominating process, that we will come out united. And if we do so, I believe the good-natured voters of Connecticut will restore that proper balance of power by electing a Republican to the United States Senate.
One thing that some analysts always say is that when you have 2 pretty big candidates like Shays and McMahon, that sometimes they can count each other out or work against each other in the long run. I mean, do you think that's so?
Well, our candidates, what binds all Republicans together usually and is that we are fiscally responsible. So Chris Shays has a distinguished career for 21 years as a congressman, was always strong on national defense and fiscally conservative. And certainly Linda McMahon has staked up positions in the same area, and that's what's going to carry the day in 2012.
Also, big race in the 5th congressional district. Obviously, Congressman Chris Murphy looking to leave that and become a senator. Lots of people say that seat's wide open.
Well, again, it's an embarrassment of riches that I have as state party chairman, and one of your guests is one of those contenders, Mark Greenberg, and you'll be talking to him shortly. We also have Lisa Wilson-Foley, Council Chairman Mike Clark from Farmington, and war veteran Justin Bernier. We're going to, again, have a healthy process as we vet our candidates, and one of them will emerge. And I am quite confident, especially with that open seat in the 5th congressional district, that we will unite and we will come together to mount a very strong challenge to put that seat back in Republican hands.
But even in that, I mean, that same poll that you just made reference to that showed that Governor Malloy was having some trouble said that Chris Murphy was enormously popular. So, people might not have the impetus to make a big change.
Well, you say popular. Again, he's only 4 points ahead of one of our candidates who hasn't even begun to run. I think that speaks volumes to the Democrats' handling of jobs in the economy. And again, my optimism for 2012 grows every passing day.
Yeah, I think a lot of the same issues that we talked about in the last election will be repeated this time around. How do you think, jobs, the economy continue to be the main issue that people worry about? What do you think you'll do differently, particularly in the Senate race, to ensure a GOP spot?
Well, we want to be much more focused on coordinating our efforts from the point of view of the state party and our federal candidates. We also have a very high priority, the legislature in Connecticut, attempting to capture 5 seats in the state Senate and make advances in the House of Representatives of Connecticut. But those 5 Senate seats would give us control of the state Senate, and I think that would alter the complexion of governance in Connecticut.
Well, because even with the special session coming up, a lot of Republicans have released a expansive jobs plan and kind of repeating all the things that they said, as the budget was getting passed that they were not able to get through. Do you have hopes for this special session that some Republican initiatives could find their way?
No, none at all. I think it's a complete sham, the special session. I think the voters of Connecticut...
A sham in that Governor Malloy just wants to
it's a show effort. And I don't... You were asking about Republican initiatives. I think it's very unlikely that we would get credit or any input in the happenings or the goings-on in that special session. I don't understand why those efforts weren't made during the 6-month regular session. And now we have to have a special session over the most obvious concern that we have here in the state of Connecticut.
Let me ask you, you talked about trying to overtake some of the seats in the Senate. Do you have like a bench of potential candidates that you turn to when races are open?
Look, Lori, we are very fortunate that we compete strongly in a municipal election. So those folks running for town council, mayor, first selectman, we actually control a majority of the towns in Connecticut. And so in that effort, we do build our bench. Again, in terms of candidates for high office, Congress, U.S. Senate, I am being inundated with phone calls and candidates that sense the same opportunity I do and want to run for office.
I just want to take 1 minute to get your perspective about, obviously, we're seeing a lot of the debates already in the presidential race and what Connecticut's role is going to be in that.
Well, we just want Connecticut to not be bypassed. So we just altered our delegate selection process Tuesday night to have a hybrid proportional system for the delegates going to the National Convention in Tampa. We're hoping some of the presidential candidates would do more than just stopping in Greenwich to raise money or flying over to go to New Hampshire, and that our rank-and-file voters can maybe see some presidential candidates up close.
Right. Well,
that's what we're hoping to do.
We'd like that as well. Well, we wish you good luck. I know you're going to have a busy next year, and thanks for stopping by. Jerry Labriole from the GOP. Coming up, a business state of the state survey is in. We're going to take a look at what business owners have to say about Connecticut.